The name is Brandon Groce. And we are the Game Changers. Designers, creatives alike. We are in a world that runs on value. Our next designs will be the shiniest. Our next animation will be the most buttery. Ladies and gentlemen, Game Changers, let the games begin.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Editor X Live with me, your host, Brandon Groce. I want to say hi to all of you guys in the chat. Victor, Marcella, we have Heartword, What is Happening, Dimma, and Essential for Health, Howdy Doody. I'm glad to have you guys here yet again for another week of our challenges, and I hope you guys are starting off your week very nice and blessed and amazing, whichever way you guys want to take. With that said, we have a couple things to dive into today before we start talking about our challenge for today, which is focused on masters. So with that said, let's hop into my screen and introduce you guys who are not familiar to Editor X to Editor X. All right, especially for the replay. All right, so first off, if you guys have not already joined or created an account for Editor X, you do want to go to editorx.com, go to Start Now, and sign up for an account for free to start creating cool, responsive websites for free and joining along in these amazing challenges with us together. With that said, you also want to join our Discord. Reason being is because we have tons of amazing, three main things. One, you get to ask all the questions you desire in our Discord inside of our Ask a Question channel, where basically you can ask as many questions as you want, and within the thread, we will make sure that we give you a video response to answer your questions so you get across the obstacles that you guys have. On top of that, we have our challenge section. Like today, after we do our challenges, you guys are free to take basically do the challenge as we do, or come up with your version of the challenge and submit them here, just like Dimma and Victor and so many other people have done in the past. And you get to come in here and chat and just have a conversation with cool, amazing individuals and creatives like yourselves. So with that said, that is our housekeeping items for today. What we are going to be working on, and also let me know if the music is a little too loud, but we should be okay. Let's see. So I'm just refreshing the page because I did maneuver my my window a little bit and the dimensions are not going to be true. So what we're going to be working on today, I'm going to preview this. We are going to use masters, get a little bit of animation in here as well. And for those of you who are like, Brandon, what are masters to begin with? What masters are used for? And we probably have used them, you're probably most familiar with them in regards to the header and the footer. And I think I disabled my footer for this. But essentially what this does is, if I decide to make a new page, right? If I decide to make a new page, and I'm just going to call it Brandon New, what carries over to these new pages are the masters. So what you guys will notice is that the footer and the header, for whatever reason, always applies to the new pages you create, and that's not by happenstance, it's because that's what these masters are for. We can actually set masters to populate in new pages as we wish. So for example, I'm going to explain what masters are. Also, live chat, let me know if you guys are familiar with masters, you were confused about masters. Let me know where you are on the masters list. What's going on, Marcelo? Victor? Yes, all of you guys are everywhere and I enjoy it. All right, so let me see. So what we want to do here is I have my masters right here. There's this triangle with the three dots essentially. And so what you guys can see here is I have a couple of sections here. I have my header, I have my footer, and I have these other ones as well. And I'll show you guys how I've made them, as well as what it takes to create a master from a section. But I also want to show you how, let's see, I'm going to click these three dots. And so there's this option where it says show on. and I literally can select all of the pages that I have made. What pages do I want this section in particular to populate on? So as you guys can see, I have the new page that I've made, Brandon New. I literally can click this, hit apply, and that section will drop right in the page that I wanted it to. So you can kind of think of this as almost a little bit of a component. There's other, you can componentize assets and sections, and I'll explain that a little bit later, but I love to use this so I don't have to reuse and constantly remake things that I'm going to use in different pages throughout my website. And of course, some of you guys might be thinking, well, Brandon, if I use this master, if I make any changes to this, will it apply to other changes to the other masters throughout my sites? And the answer is yes. So what I like to do is, for example, if I want to make changes to this, what I'll do is I'll click this section, the 3 dots, and I'll remove or detach from masters. That way I have the ability to edit this as I please, and it will not manipulate any of the other masters that this was previously attached to, if that makes sense. So with that said, that was kind of a brief summary of how masters are used, how I use masters, but now let's talk about and build this sucker. So I am going to I'm actually going to just delete this. I'm going to delete this section, and we are going to start brand spanking new. And I'm going to use this as reference. So first off, again, I've been trying to stay really away from the menu. It's pretty self-explanatory, and those of you who have been submitting your challenges have been doing a great job with figuring out the menus. So first off, I am going to get out of preview mode here, and I'm going to take our first section, and I'm going to create a grid. Apply a grid. We're going to do it 2 by 1. And we are just going to manually pull this. We're going to manually scale this. And by the way, just for those of you guys in the live chat, not in the replay, in the future we are going to change the setup of how we're doing our our live streams. So we're purely going to try to just focus on the tutorial that we're doing here live, save like the last 5 to 10 minutes for questions and Q&A for the live stream, and then the rest of that we will handle in the Discord so that this has the best replay value and we can actually get what we want to get done in the 30 minutes. All right, so once I get this, a 2 by 1, now we want to go ahead and get our image in here. So I'm going to click these 3 dots, or I can just right click, quick add, and I'm going to go into image. I'm going to make sure that I scale this up, and I am going to change the image to our Lego friend. Now, another thing I do want to do is I want some padding here. I want some white space. So to do that, I am going to click on, if you guys see where this is, let me go to my section here. So I've actually put the padding on my section. I put 97 pixels from the left and the right. And I've basically done that for all these sections. So I'm going to select my section, and I am going to add some padding. And by the way, for the live chat, even though the questions will be answered in the Discord, please also do drop them in the chat, because I will read them ahead of time and be able to either answer them while I'm going or start thinking about them towards the end of the stream. All right, so we have our 97 pixels of padding to the left and to the right, and now we're going to go ahead and start getting our textuals in the left hand side of things. So I'm going to right click on, make sure I'm selecting my section, 3 dots, quick add, title, and I'm going to grab what we have over here. So I'm going to double click in here, just grab my text so I don't have to type it again. I'm going to steal the size, which is 62 pixels. Hit enter. make sure I select the text that I want to manipulate. There we go. Perfect. And I am going to edit this to be white. And we're also going to decrease the line height to 1.1. So I'm going to click right in here where it says line spacing. Click. We do not want the auto spacing. Sometimes it works for you guys, but I would like to edit this. So I'm going to turn that off. I now get to manually edit it, and I'll just paste what we have, 1.1. And next I'm going to select my section again. Quick add. I'm going to grab an image. Scale this puppy. And this is going to be our Marvel logo. Change image. Marvel. Ta-dow. Alright, and we're just going to scale that to where we want. And also, as we can see, it's cropped a little bit. So we're going to go to our cogwheel. Reset image. Perfecto. And there we go. And we're going to do one more text piece here. We're going to scale this down just a little bit. I think it's right here is just fine. So I'm going to duplicate this text. I'm going to bring it down because we're trying to be speedy. And we're just going to type universe. Perfect. And just like we learned earlier this week, what I love to do is use stacks. And before I do that, I actually want to... Universe doesn't need all that space. Alright, so I'm going to hold shift and select all of these puppies just like this. And I am going to, whoops, go to stack just like this. And I am going to give the item spacing of about, let's do 25, see what happens there. We'll do 15, and I'm happy with that. Alright, and again, what a stack does, if you guys remember from earlier this week, it allows you to move the content around as a group, but also allows you to exchange items within the stack without having to really mess around with too many things. Alright, so we have our left side pretty much good to go. I do want to move this to the center. I'm just going to pull this up actually. Trying to find a good spot. Alright, now for our image here, I do want to change the focus of this. So I'm going to just start moving this around. There we go. We want a little bit more of Tony Stark's face. Just moving this around. There we go. And what I can do from here is now we're going to go ahead and make this section a master. So what I can do is make sure you have selected your section, the correct section. You're going to click your three dots, set as master, and select section. Now, with this said, where this goes, which is important, is once you click this, or once you click select or create this section as a master, your masters, like I said in the beginning, are placed right here. It's the third icon from the left of this this menu here. You can go in here and you basically have your masters organized in 4 sections. You have your headers, you have your sections, you have your apps, and you have your footers. By default, like we said in the beginning, your headers and your footers will always be there by default within Editor X. And as you change them, they will change and be on every single page unless you tell them not to be. And as I mentioned before, as you guys can see, it says default. This header will show on each page you add to the site. You can change the default to a different header if you choose. And you can see that by, as we go into this option, the 3 dots, show on, and you see all of these, you can deselect these. You can make new headers, new footers, things of that nature. The same thing applies to the section that we just made. We're going to go into our sections. And as we see, we have our new section. I already made one earlier today. So you guys, this was the previous one. But this one right here, this is the section we just made with the green check mark. And what we can do with this is we can drag this or literally put on any other page that we so desire. It's currently only on Brandon New. So just checking time here. We have about 15 minutes. Perfect. Before we start messing around with this on another page, I want to do one more section with you guys, and then we'll start duplicating some stuff. So with that, I'm going to go to this section very quick, and I'm going to increase the size of the height. We're going to do 100 VH, which is 100 viewport height. And we are going to do no minimum height percentage. All right, perfect. I'm going to just move this a little bit. Trying to find a good spot for it. Maybe I'll center it horizontally. All right, now let's work on another section. I'm going to put my cursor to the bottom of this section, add new section, and we are going to start off with a grid. We're going to do a 2x1. And just for simplicity, I'm also going to set the height of this section to 100 VH and a minimum height of none. And so what we're going to do here, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to preface those who are watching the replay. What I am showcasing to you guys now is purely for the desktop version. If you guys want to understand how to create this in a responsive manner, definitely check out responsive videos on our channel that will explain how to morph this into the different breakpoints such as tablet and mobile efficiently. And we have plenty of videos to showcase how to do that. We'll definitely make sure to link those down below as well. So this next piece that we're going to do is we are going to make a essentially have two text boxes over here. And I think, let's see, we're going to make a, let's go to my layers here really quick. Got it. Okay. So we're going to have one whole container over here. We're going to have another container over here and 3 containers inside of that container. And we'll explain. Or actually, let me think. Let's do this. Container. We're going to pull this full width on the left side. And we are going to add another container on the right side. Now, before we go any deeper, we do want to go into our section and we want to add the 97 pixels of padding to the top, left, and right. Perfect. And you guys can see that indicated with this green. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're going to separate these two text boxes with basically a grid. So I'm going to apply a grid. I'm going to do a 1x2. And I am going to do a, first off, I want to take off the background color here. So I'm going to go to my inspector, design, turn this puppy all the way down. Perfect. I'm going to remove my footer for now. Don't display. And let's see. I'm going to set this section to, for right now, I'm just going to set it to 1,000 pixels at the moment. There we go. And I'm just resizing our containers, turning the background off. Now what I want to do over here to this section over here is I want to create a 2x2. Reason being is because what I'm going to try to do is this. I want one container here that's gray, another container here, and another container that spreads across both of them. So I'm going to go inside quick add container, duplicate. I'm going to add another container over here. And I'm going to duplicate this one more time. And I'm going to bring a container here. I think the issue is inside the grid. Victor, you might be right. I'm assuming that those in the live chat, I'm assuming what you're looking at is this. I got a little bit confused with this as well, because I didn't really set anything. There. But let me know if that is what you're taking a peek at. So let me see. There's section, change layout grid. Let's see. Advanced mode. It could possibly be that. Let me see. What if we did a 100 VH here? We'll click done. All right, awesome. Two heads are better than one, guys. And for whatever reason, let's go back to section here. 100 VH, let's see. That's not. No idea. But let's stick. We'll do this, guys. I do want to stick, because we don't need all this for the masters. What I want to do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to delete this section for right now, because there's going to be a lot of nuances in that. The only thing that I want you guys to understand today is how we can take previous created masters, use them in projects, and then repurpose them. So what we're going to do is we're literally going to go to our masters. I showed you how to make one master. Now we're going to reuse a master that I have previously made, and how I can literally just click show on page like this, and I am going to push this. Let's see, I'm just gonna change the hierarchy of our sections. So now we have the first section that we made here, and our second section that we made here. Now if I wanted to make any changes to this, like I said, what I want to do is 3 dots. Detach from masters. And let's say I wanted 2 sections like this, right? Let's say I want to, I'm going to undo that really quick. Let's say I want to Control D. So now I have 2 sections like this, right? But if I start messing around with this, it actually should have changed. It should have changed what happens over here, but I guess not, which is interesting. I have no idea why it didn't. Well, I guess that works for us. And ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the chat, because I did this last week, and every time I would make a change to one master, it would change them on the other. So let me see here. Let's see, quick add, detach from masters. Maybe it was the fact that I just duplicated this section. Let me see. Let me move that. Let me go to boom. And let me, I wonder if I can do it again from this. What happens if I duplicate? All right, we'll just take it as it is, guys. Maybe something has changed since the last time I opened this up. But hey, this is better. This is less work for us. So section, duplicate, Control D. We get our second section here, and we can do whatever it is that we want to it. We can change around the images, so I can have my Thor image here. I can have my Boba Fett thing over here. And we're going to keep Hogwarts down there. And for the finishing touch, guys, just like you guys have been doing, we can add some animation to this stuff here. Is we can start going into our stack, hit the animation, and we can just start testing some things that we want to utilize. Yeah, that's what I thought, Victor. You know, I was, you know, sometimes the refresh definitely does, is constituted. Well, hold up. let me save this. All right, save. Yeah, because I was very sure that masters change, and for whatever reason, because it wouldn't make sense if you duplicate a header that it wouldn't change. Okay. Yeah, for some reason my things were not saved, so that might have been the issue. Let me go to see if I'm on the correct page here. Brandon new. All right. There we go. Make sure that this is centered. Yeah, but I have no idea why these didn't change, especially since they are the same master. That's definitely something I got to check with the Editor X team on and get an answer to you guys first. Maybe you entered twice in Editor X. That also could be, you know what I think it did? Is I think when I said Control D, it literally duplicated. I think that's what it was, which is new. I haven't actually done that yet. Yeah, so there's two. So we have this section that's in there, and it also duplicated another section. Okay, that, Victor, in the chat, that was that's exactly what happened. So let's delete this for now. I think this was the opposite. So essentially what I did, or what happened was, if we duplicate this master, and I didn't know this, I haven't done it this way before, you guys can see that it literally, Editor X duplicated a whole nother master, which is awesome. So now, I guess basically you can, what is the word I'm looking for? It automatically creates a whole nother master for you to edit, and that won't, as you edit that one, it won't mess up the other one. But what I wanted to show you guys, in particular, I did show you guys this in the beginning, is I wanted to create another page. Like, let's say we wanted to do a whole nother, we're gonna create a whole nother page here. And I'm just gonna call this one Batman. I can literally go into my masters here. Dun, dun. And I'm gonna select show on page, and I want to select show on page with this one. I'm going to change the section hierarchy, and let's say I'm fine with this, but on this page, rather than having our man Iron Man, if we change this master to Lego Batman, right, what this will do is this will change, if we go to my masters here, all of the previous sections will change to the Lego Batman. That's not what we want. So what we need to do is, we're using this section as a template, but in order to change it without changing the other masters, is we need to go to detach from masters. Now we can go to change image, Lego Batman, update. Now if we go to our masters, we should still see Tony Stark, or Iron Man, as the main section master, if that makes sense. So we should be able to go back to our Brandon new page. We should have our Stark, and if we go to Batman, we should have our Batman here. Victor in the live chat is saying that's a very interesting way to use masters. I've only used for headers and footers. Yeah, so this is, you know, rather than copy and pasting, templates or different sections from page to page, this is a very easy way to essentially, like if you have all your headers like this, might as well just make a master of it. And then for the new pages that you have, or even for example, this section, which is you're probably going to utilize, especially on an e-commerce site, different ways you're going to lay out products. If you're going to reuse this, might as well create a master for it, pull it to another page, and then detach it from the master, and then change the things within it. So that's how I've been using it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much a little bit of a crash course to using masters. So for this week or today's challenge, essentially what I would love to see you guys do is, and let's go back to my homepage here. You guys can either follow along in what it is that we saw here, try to replicate it. I'll put this link in our Discord for you guys to check out. If you guys want to create your own version, which I love the fact that you guys have been doing, you guys can definitely do that as well. And with that said, again, this is only for the desktop version. Do not worry about responsiveness as of yet. I just want you guys to utilize masters and showing that you guys kind of understand how that works. So how I would love to see you guys do it, even if it's just the hero section or however else you want to do it. Make one page, use a master, make a secondary page with the same elements, just like we did with the Batman. So if you guys just made a hero section with a header, and then on a separate page you just have the same header with the Batman thing, that is enough to suffice this challenge. It's just to get you guys in the give you guys the experience of how to use masters in a little bit more creative way, kind of like components. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to give a huge shout out to both Dimma and Victor for an amazing their amazing submissions for last week's challenge. So before we end here, I do want to showcase, this was Dimma's submission. It was absolutely beautiful. I love the overlay of the video for the furniture basically the furniture brand, and I loved the absolute it's very interesting, the My Wallet thing, but I love just the the extra mile that they took to put some extra hover effects in here, the overlays, and on top of that we have Victor, which, let me refresh this here. I love the video in the background. It's a very nice job, my friend. And I love the fact that you put the challenge 2, challenge 3, challenge 4, so that you have all of your challenges essentially in the same place. I didn't think about that. So really nice work, guys. I'm excited to see what you guys produce next. The way that you publish your website or your project to our challenges portion of our Discord is you go to publish, you copy and paste this site, and you go to our Discord, and you go to challenges. Oh, did Charlie just submit that? Oh, I gotta see this. And we have a format in which you submit your work, which is basically first name, challenge number, and add your site URL here. And I believe this is challenge number 5, if I'm not mistaken. My name is Brandon Groce, and you can, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, guys. Again, do remember that this is specifically desktop only. Do not worry about anything else. We're focusing on how to use masters, how to use them kind of like components, and that's it, all right? But Charlie, let's see what you got. This was it's a little bit late submission, but it's okay. Wait, did I just, hold on, where'd it go? Ah, okay. Well, I will show you, I'll leave that link in the chat. And other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, for another challenge. And you guys can see what tomorrow's challenge is in our Discord in the weekly challenge section. So with that said, guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you have any questions, come to the Discord, drop them in our Ask Questions section, and I'll get to you. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Dope responsive website.